And we are live. Welcome. It's Saturday morning in the kitchen, and I'm so glad to have all of you here. I'm Leona Dooley, and this is Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme. And you know what? Here in the kitchen, this is where we're going to do some cooking. We're going to do some chatting. We're going to be talking about some things that I'm sure you know. But, we always want to refresh ourselves. And sometimes I might know a little bit of something, you might know a little bit of something, and we're going to put it together and come up with great solutions. Now, today is actually a very special day in this house. Good morning, Nitty T. I am so glad to see you. Did you see my community page? If you did, go to my community page and do what you need to do, and I look forward to hearing from you. And so anyway, good morning, everyone. And so this morning, or today, we are celebrating the big guy's birthday here in the house. And so he doesn't know, but we've got some people coming in later on today, and he's trying to figure out, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you taking an extra moment, on the house and doing those kind of things? So it's been kind of funny being able to get everything done. So we're going to get started because I need to make sure that I have things going on time today. Good morning. Good morning. So if you look right here in the right, you're going to see that buenos dias, that we have, I have some water on because I don't know about you, but in our neck of the woods, it feels like spring. And I've got spring fever. So when spring fever hits, the first thing I want is iced tea. So I'm going to fix some iced tea. My water is starting to boil. This is a bag that makes 1 gallon of tea. So I'm going to drop it in. And I'm going to let that stay there for a little while. And let it steep for about 10 minutes. Now, here, I've got the heat on the pan because we're going to be making a black bean, corn, and shrimp chowder. And I'm going to do it in a very healthy way. And so I wanted you to know that. So coming up in March is going to be all about healthy meals because we're trying to get our figures ready to be able to get into those swimsuits when the warm weather hits. So let's get to it. So I'm going to bring in a little closer and so we can get started. I am so glad to see all of you this morning. We're going to get ourselves all set up here and get you so you can see, get you in the pots. All right, so there we go. We're going to make a chowder as well as we are going to make a good morning, a homemade sausage this morning. And we're making it healthy. It's not going to be with pork or any of that. It's going to be with turkey. So we're going to be putting that together today as well. So, like I said, this is nice and hot. I started a few minutes before we came on. So I'm going to drizzle 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And this is, like I said, already nice and hot. I'm going to add in 1 medium onion that's been diced. So we're going to get that going. I hope you guys have been having a great week. I certainly have. And I've had some changes that I'm going to talk about today. Some things that, I love. I always have my donation bag, and we're contributing food to food pantries and those kind of things. So this week, I was able to make a connection, and I'm going to be actually working at a soup kitchen on Wednesdays. And so that's another reason why I'm practicing all of my, good morning, I'm practicing all of my soup recipes. because I'm going to be working at a soup kitchen on Wednesdays. We're not only going to cook, we're going to serve, we're going to try to provide meals to those who need them. So we're going, here I have, I've got red, yellow, orange, and green peppers. Woo, very Mexicali. That's going to be going in. So there's our colorful peppers that I tried to save a little bit of time. So they've been diced. I'm putting those in. And you know, if there's something that you don't like, you can certainly substitute. Now, you know, I have done this particular soup recipe, and I've used a fresh salsa. And the only thing about buying a fresh salsa is that you've got to be careful with what's been added into it. Now, I have my basic house seasoning. So I'm going to put in, I'm going to start with a heaping teaspoon. You know, this is onion powder, garlic powder, and black pepper. So I'm going to put that in. I think we'll put in at least another half, because it's going to need that kick. And you know, when you have your powdered onions and powdered garlic, that just helps to get the flavor in, gives you a nice intensity of flavor, but it doesn't say that you're not going to use the fresh in, because we're going to be adding some fresh garlic in as well. And you know, garlic is very healthy for you. So here I've got my garlic. I'm going to add in about a tablespoon. Okay, now our garlic. Garlic helps to ward off colds and vampires, if you believe in that. I don't, but I know it helps with your colds. So we're going to add our garlic in. We're going to let that simmer for a few minutes. And in this particular recipe, we're going to add sweet potatoes, because we're trying to make healthy options. And so we've got lots of vegetables already that's in our mix. We've got our, if you can handle a little heat, and everybody can't, and that's okay. I've got a little bit of red pepper here, and I'm going to put in about, I'm going to say about a quarter of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I'm going to actually put them in my hand. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to squeeze them into the mix. Now, I'm doing two things. I'm kind of breaking it up, as well as waking up the oils that are in these red pepper flakes. Now, you know, I love my pepperoncino, and I add it in there quite often. So we've got our red pepper flakes. Now, I want you to see the consistency here. I always tell you that when you're buying tomato sauce that are pasta sauce, look for Classico, and these Classico jars are wonderful. They've got all the measurements here that you need, and they store well. They're nice and slim. They can go into your cabinets very easily. So you can see that I save all of mine so that I can use them. Okay, we've got our peppers in, we've got our onions in, we got the start of our seasonings in. So I'm going to go right here to the center, and we're going to add in our sweet potatoes. And I'm adding in, there's one, I don't think I'm going to use him. I'm going to add in this entire bag. Now this bag has four 1 cup servings. So there was 4 cups of sweet potatoes that we're going to put in. I found that I really like savory sweet potatoes. I think even more so than the sweet potatoes. because you know where we add all the good brown sugar, all that good stuff in. I think I like it this way even more so. So we're going to be adding, making sure that we've got plenty of savory goodness into this dish. I wish you could smell this. It smells wonderful. Now I'm going to give that a little bit of time to get started. Now, we're going to be adding, of course, the black beans, the corn. We're going to add in, this is something you probably don't usually use in your soups, but we're going to add in a small jar of pimentos. And this small jar of pimentos, I'm going to drain just a little bit because I want it to impart its flavor, but I really don't want all the juice that comes with it. So I'm going to drain that. And then I'm going to add the complete jar of pimentos. All right. Look at how colorful this is. I'm going to sit this top over here and bring you just a little bit closer so you can see. You don't want to miss any of this because it is really very colorful. There you go, right there, so you can see. Now, so it is just full of color, vitamin C, all that beta carotene is right here in this dish. So this is a very, very heart healthy, in fact, just body healthy dish. So here we go. We got all of that in. Now, we know that these sweet potatoes are not ready yet because this is going to have to cook. Now, what I am going to do, I'm going to add in my black beans. This was 2 cans of black beans. It's been drained. And we're going to add in 3 cans of organic whole kernel corn. Organic whole kernel corn. So that's 1. That's 2. And you know, when you're serving food at a soup kitchen, you definitely want to make sure that the food you're serving is very healthy, because it may be that the people that you're serving don't have the opportunities that we have to be able to make sure that what goes into our mouth is nutritious. It may be that whatever goes into their mouths, that they are just trying to make sure that it is delicious and filling. But we want to do a little more than that. Now, I'm going to add just a bit of salt. You know, I've been cutting back on the salt. So I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of salt. And that's so that this will cook. It won't be over salty. We don't want that. And now, look at all that color. We're going to add and give all of this a good toss so that you can see how these colors are going to come together. And it's beautiful. Look at that. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I love eating things that are colorful, and it's even better when it's nutritious. So there's our combination. You know, a long time ago, I don't want to say a long time ago, really hadn't been that long, but my son likes to cook too. And when he was younger, anytime we were having company over, he always prepared his traditional Mexicali corn dip. And so I knew I could depend on his dip being a part of whatever it was that we were doing. Okay, so this is what we got in here. We've got a cup of onions, diced. We've got about 2 cups, actually, of peppers, diced, all colors. We used all the colors. We have a small jar of pimentos that's in. We have 4 cups of sweet potatoes that's in. And, you know, we're going to talk about sweet potatoes in just a second. And I'm also going to add in, I'll start with about 3 cups. So I'm going to bring the container we had the black beans in. I'm going to bring that back over. And we're going to add in, because it does have measurements on the inside. I love this cup. It's very pretty. It's a pioneer woman. Probably measures 2. All right, we got about 3 cups to start with of chicken broth. Now you can use chicken stock. You can use your homemade. Now the reason I did that was because number one, it helped clean some of the black bean juice out of that dish. And there we go. We're gonna roll that in. Oh, that's gonna be so good. Now you're gonna laugh because you know I'm such a tomato girl. This dish, this soup, this chowder does not call for tomatoes. No tomatoes in here. We're gonna keep it honest, and I know it's good. But with the exception of the sweet potato, it has the combination of that dip I was telling you about that my son would do with the black beans, the corn, the onions, the peppers, all those good things. He made a delicious Mexicali dip with most of these ingredients. So I'm gonna turn this up and get it up to a good oil, because that's what we need now. All right, so we got that going. I still have about another cup of chicken broth that if this cooks down a little too much, then we can certainly add more to it. So we're going to let that go. But look at that beautiful color. When we talk about getting all of our vegetables in, and we want to make sure that the dishes that we're preparing are colorful, and we have a variety of colors. So we've got that with this. Okay, now kind of clean up a little bit, and then we're going to put our sausage together. So we get these over here, and there we go. All right. Wipe things off so that we're good and clean. Now, while we're waiting on this to start bubbling, we're going to work on the tea. So I'm going to back you up just a little bit, and let's see if we can get right here. Of course, I know you're going to hit the KitchenAid, but that's okay. That's okay. Now, we got our tea that's here. Now, what we're going to do in this container, I have ice, and this is a 1 gallon container. I had to make sure because I have a couple of them. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pour our tea into this 1 gallon container. Now I'm going to try to do this left-handed, so which is not my dominant hand. So I'm pouring the tea that we made over ice, and we're shocking it, because you know what we really like is that nice clear tea. There we go. So all of that's done, and I'm going to use my spoon, and we're going to give it a really good mix. A good mix. And you're thinking, will I be able to sweeten it? Yes. So we're going to give it a good mix, because we want to chop that tea and stop it from cooking. It smells great. All right, so we've got that going. I'm going to only put, I usually put 2 cups of sugar, but great, Nitty Tea. That's wonderful. Good, good. I'm glad to see you all this morning. All right, so I'm adding in 1 cup of sugar. 1 cup of sugar. And of course, if you're sensitive to sugar, you may just prefer your tea without sugar at all, with no sweetener. And that's fine. That's up to you. You can certainly do that. Now I'm going to give this a good stir, and it's going to take a minute. And while it's doing this thing, I've got my heat on high over there. I think I'm going to put the top on it just a minute and let that start bubbling. Okay, so we got our tea. And like I said, today is the big guy's birthday, so we're doing a few things for him today. And actually, dinner is going to be out, but we've got a few friends coming over, and they're going to be coming to dinner with us. So, we have to sample this tea. Make sure it's just right. So I've got lemons, I've got oranges, because I like the citrus in my tea. There we go. Now, so our tea is ready. Let me give it a taste. Bring you guys up just a little bit and get you back to where I can see you. There we go. Okay. Woo, we got sunlight. Bright light, bright light. All right, got you there. So we're going to work on the sausage. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you. He will appreciate that. I'd rather have an ice cold glass of tea than a cup of coffee. How about that? Now, between the citrus and only using 1 cup of sweetener, it's not extremely sweet. Wow, that is great. I like that. Guess I better put it to the side because I need to finish cooking, right? Okay, didn't want to get sidetracked. All right, so over here, see where I can put you so that we have a good view. All right, I'm gonna put you right here so you can see. Okay. Now, see my can bag? Let's see if I can get my finger in the right place. Right there. That's my donation bag. And so I've been adding to that as we go. Now, in this bowl, we're going to put in some turkey, some ground turkey. Let me take that out because I didn't want it to stay out. And as soon as our soup is bubbling, we're going to be adding some shrimp to it because shrimp goes in it. But let me say this: if you are shellfish intolerant, then you can change the protein. It can be chicken. It can be, you can even do beef if that's what you want it. But I'm trying to keep it a little healthy, and we like shrimp. And you can use fish, like a thick fish. So you might look at, you could use cod or perch or something like that. Dice it up, not too small, about 1-inch pieces or larger, and put it into your soup. So that gives you a nice, healthy chowder. In this case, we're going to be using shrimp because that's what we like. All right. So I have my ground turkey here. And we're going to get that open. And into the bowl. Now, you know, turkey doesn't have a lot of fat, right? So because of that, it's low fat. This is nice and lean. This has been in the freezer, so I have to kind of break it up a little bit, but that's okay. Now, I'm going to wash my hands again because I need to take my rings off. So let me do that. Okay, got the rings off. And I'm throwing a few things down the disposal while I'm here. All right, we're good to go. Let's throw all of this away and tie it up. Oh, we were talking about sweet potatoes. Well, we got that going. And sweet potatoes, you know, a lot of times you think, okay, we'll use sweet potatoes instead of white potatoes. And let's talk a little bit about it. Because I have always been under the assumption that if I use sweet potatoes, that whatever I was preparing would be more healthy because of the sweet potatoes. And I'm giving this a stir and also making sure there's no sticking going on the bottom. But it is really getting nice and hot. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. Now, in just a few minutes, we'll come back over this way and we're going to add in a little bit of a slurry of either cornstarch. You can use a cornstarch slurry, or if you happen to have, thank you. If you happen to have some arrowroot, you can do an arrowroot slurry. Arrowroot is a little more organic, and where cornstarch, for those who don't want to use corn, you know, arrowroot is a good option. All right, so rings are off, hands are clean, and we're going in. We're going to get this done. Now, I'm going to bring over some spices, and these are a little bit different from what we put in our soup today. So I'm bringing them all over, everything that I'm going to need. And I need another spurtle because eventually we're going to need to mix. So I'm going to get this all broken up while we're thinking about it. But back to the potatoes. The sweet potato is has benefits of having lots of beta carotene. It has lots of course, your vitamin C's, and it's all about the color. It adds so many nutrition, so it's very nutritious because of the color. And so sweet potato is a great option. So don't think, you know, for those who may be diabetic, you know, don't think, okay, well, I can't eat the white potatoes, so you load up on the sweet potatoes. Don't do that, because they're both carbs, and they're going to hit your body almost the same way. It's just the difference is that the sweet potato has a little more nutrition to it because it does give us that vitamin C that we need. And, you know, plus too, with sweet potato, we have to be careful because those who are like me, when I have my sweet potato, like I said, I'm learning. I want the butter. I want a little bit of brown sugar or honey and or maple syrup, you know, all those good things. Now, one more wash. Okay, let's start to spice her up. Now, this sausage is going to be our breakfast sausage that we're going to be using. I'm going to start with some herbs of Provence. I'm going to put in a couple of teaspoons of herbs of Provence. Herbs of Provence has great flavor, and so that's where we're going to start. Next, I like pepper. So the nice thing about preparing your own sausage is that you get to add in those flavors that you like. So I'm putting in black pepper. What you're not going to see me add in is salt, because that's something I'm lessening. I am going to add in my pepperoncino. So I'm really putting in about a teaspoon of pepperoncino, because when I purchase sausage, I usually purchase hot sausage. And if that's not your favorite, then you can leave the pepperoncino out. All right, let's get into the other flavors. Now, this is my more kicked up house seasoning. Let me tell you what's in here. All the good stuff. You got a little bit of black pepper is in here. We've got garlic. We've got onion. We've got some paprika. There's a little mustard. We got parsley. And there's a pinch of salt to this. Now, so I am going to put in about a teaspoon of it into our mixture. Because, you know, if you're going to eat sausage, you want to be able to eat sausage that is delicious. And you're probably only going to get one patty. So because of that, you want to make sure that that one patty that you get is flavorful. It's all about the flavor. And because turkey has no real flavor of its own, you know, when you think about that. So what I'm doing is that as I'm going in, let's see if I can bring it over to you. As I'm doing it, I'm kind of giving it a squeeze, letting it go through the fingers, because I want those flavors to get all inside of that sausage. Now, if handling the turkey bothers you, you can certainly do this with your KitchenAid, or if you have a Ninja blender, you could use your Ninja and do the same thing. Just put everything in and let the mechanism do it for you. But, you know, I kind of like being able to get my hands in, and I'm looking at it, because when you're right here looking at it, you can see whether or not your seasonings are all over your turkey. And I want to make sure that every bite of turkey sausage that we get, that is going to be delicious. So I am making sure of that. So this way I know that my sausage is going to be good. And then we're going to form it into patties. We're going to cook a couple, and one for me, one for the big guy, so we can have something to start the day with. He bought some bagels, and where he can have a whole bagel, I get a half or a fourth. And so we've got all of our seasonings in. Okay, so everything's nice and well mixed. I can look at it and tell that there is not a drop of turkey that doesn't have seasoning in it. So we're ready to get cleaned up. I'm going to get my ice cream scoop, and I'm going to start scooping our patties. Let me come over here and get myself all cleaned up. Okay. All right. Now, before we get to scooping, I'm going to turn you around so you can see our pot, because I'm going to take the top off. Woo! It's a little warm. It smells good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We are bubbling. A spurtle. Make sure nothing is sticking. Okay. Now, while that's cooking, let's put our slurry in. So I've got my cornstarch. I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch here. Use my teaspoon. We'll put in about a tablespoon rather, of cornstarch. A little bit of cold water. Remember, you always do your slurry with cold water. And you always want to add it to your bubbling water. So we've got our slurry here. I want to make sure I have it all well mixed. And I'm going to start to add it in. And it's going to give us the thickening that we want in our soup. There we go. Now you notice I have not added the seafood. And there's a reason for that, because we don't want to overcook the seafood. I want to make sure that my sweet potatoes are nice and soft. And that takes a little bit. I can feel them and still tell that they're pretty hard. Oh, that was pretty good. Okay, so we're not far. So I'm going to give this a little bit of time. And you know, if your chicken broth doesn't have enough chickeny flavor that you might be using, you might want to add just a tad bit of bouillon to it. You can certainly do that, but be careful if you add bouillon, because you know bouillon typically has a very high salt content. And so I'm going to let it thicken up a little bit. I'll put the top back on it. Okay, that's cooled off just enough. Make sure I have it pretty centered. And I'm going to get this skillet on and get it nice and hot so that we can work on our sausage. Okay, there we go. Yes, it's a black skillet, black cast iron skillet. Let me get see if I can find my scoop. And we're going to need some bags. We need, here's my bag, but you know what I think I'm going to do is that I'm going to grab a cookie sheet. And I think what I'll do is that I'm going to put the sausage balls here on the cookie sheet so that I can freeze them and then drop them into a bag. So we've got our scoop. I think I'll bring you back over here. That might be a little better. And while that's happening, our skillet can get nice and hot. So we're back over here. Okay. There we go. Got everybody in their place. Got the top for the tea. Yay. Iced tea. I love it. We have had some unseasonably warm weather. And in fact, the meteorologist said that they're expecting us to break a record this week. So that should be fun. All right, so I am scooping out. Here's our scoop of sausage. And we're going to do this and try to do this so you can see. We're going to scoop out our breakfast sausage. Now, if you know, and you may want to do this, if you are using some type of biscuits for breakfast and you want to do a sausage, egg biscuit, you can kind of decide how large you want your particular sausage to be. But I'm going to try to keep mine pretty uniform at this point because I really want to know exactly how many of these I'm going to be able to get. And then I can figure out, I think this would be pretty economical because I want the turkey sausage that you buy in the store is rather expensive. Not quite sure why, but it is. It's pretty expensive. It's more expensive than just your regular everyday Jimmy Dean. So I want to prepare my own. That way I know what's in it. And you can see it didn't take long at all to do. So if you have a lot of little ones that you're preparing breakfast for, this is a great option and very time saving and nutritious. You know what's in the sausage. No preservatives. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna move these around. 1, 2, 4, 8, 12. And you figure this was about a 2.5-pound pack of turkey. There we go, there's 16. So this is going to take care of us, I think, for a major portion of the month because we don't do sausage every day. There we go. Okay. So I'm thinking I should be able to get about 2 dozen at least, maybe just a little more. Okay, so there's 24. Now I'm going to take what's left in here and we're coming over to the skillet. Our skillet is nice and hot. I'm not going to add any oil to it. And I'm going to turn our soup down just a little bit. There's 1, and 2. I'm going to make 2. Maybe a third one out of here. We'll see. Oh man, he's a little misshapen because he's at the bottom. I'll flatten these out in just a second. But what a great economical way to be able to prepare your own sausage. And you know, you could have added peppers in. Got 1 baby one. That's okay. I'm going to put that in as well. Now, let me wash my hands. All right. Now you notice I haven't moved these. And the reason is because it's going to stick. And that's okay. I'm going to try to leave it right there in its spot. And it will release itself. So we're going to let that happen. All right. So we got that going. And I'm going to come over here. We're going to take a look at our soup. Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, it smells great. All right, now I'm going to turn this down just a bit. I do want it to continue to bubble. I'm going to put it on about a 3. It's kind of a low bubble. And I'm going to go get the shrimp so we can put the shrimp into our soup. You could even add into this chowder, you could do sausage, you could do chicken would be good. Now I have, and what I'm going to do, these shrimp are pretty large. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give them just a cut. And you don't have to. You don't have to do what I'm doing, but I am. Just because I like having, make sure I got the tails off where it's supposed to be. I like having a little bit of the seafood in each of the bites. So I'm going to cut each of these, depending on the size. Most of the time, I'll probably cut it in about thirds. But if it's extremely large, then of course, like this one's tiny, so he's just going in half. Check my sausage while I'm working here. Okay. We need another one. See how that lifted itself right off the skillet. There we go. Flip him. Give him a flip. Okay. There we go. So our sausage is just about ready. All right, so I'm going to continue to work on our shrimp. Like I said, you can use any kind of seafood you want, but seafood is always a great option when you're looking for healthy meals. Try to get as much seafood into your diet as you can of any form. And I tend to like having soups. That's a monster shrimp. He's pretty big. And this chowders, are very hearty. So with a little piece of bread, toasted bread, or no toasted bread, or no bread at all, you will be full. So I am thinking that this would be a great option for the soup kitchen because we want those who are coming in to leave full. We want their tummies full. And of course, when I do this for the soup kitchen, we will probably use chicken because chicken's a little less expensive than shrimp. Okay, so that's done. All the time, that's 1 pound of shrimp. I'm stirring our seafood in. And we're going to let that cook. I'm going to put the top back on it. And let that continue to bubble. Let me pick up my spatula here that I dropped so I don't hurt myself. Okay, wash hands again. Rinsing out that seafood bag because seafood can get a little stinky. Okay. Let's see how we're doing. Now I've got cilantro here because we're going to use, good morning. We've got cilantro that we're going to add on top as well as, now this is for those of you who can afford the calories. We're going to add in a little bit of cheese. So here we've got our tray of homemade sausage that I'm going to freeze and then put into Ziploc bags. So we'll have sausage ready for breakfast, already made, homemade by us. So that's a nice thing. Okay, I got you here. There we go. So our sausage, I think, especially the little one, is probably just about done. I'm gonna give it one more flip. Keep this in mind when you're using cast iron. The more you use it, the more non-stick it becomes. And it's just a great option for cooking. Oh yeah, this is ready. But you definitely want to make sure that what you're eating is done. Okay, tea is ready. Got that over on the counter. I'm going to take just a moment and get a little bit of something to drink. Now, I'm going to get I'm just going to use this cup. I'm going to rinse it out. We'll go ahead and slurry in because I need to know whether or not our soup is ready. So I'm going to take out one of my little measuring spoons. Let's look and see if our shrimp is ready. You know that the shrimp is ready when it turns. You get a little pinky look. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's got a good consistency with that slurry. That was 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Or you could trade it out with arrowroot if you have that. I don't have cornstarch, so that's what I use. But my potatoes are soft. I'm going to give myself a scoop and see if I need to adjust any seasonings. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Mm. Oh, that's good. And I don't need to adjust anything. Mm. This is definitely soup kitchen worthy, and I can't wait. So every Wednesday, I've committed to every Wednesday for the next couple of months to work the soup kitchen. Now, while I'm thinking about it, congratulations to the 3 of you who won our Valentine drawing. And that was Michelle Nelson, that was Sue, and Nitty T. And so everyone's 2 of the cards are already in the mail, and the 3rd card will be in the mail today. So now let me say this. The nice thing is that the sweet potato gives it just a hint of sweetness, but not so much that you'll say, "Ooh, this is too sweet." That's not what you're going to say. I think this would be a great option for children because, they kind of like a little hint of sweet. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Now, I got through that little bit here. And that's good. Now, I'm going to take our sausage out. Let me get a saucer. All right. So I've got our sausage here, and I'm going to actually work on the baby one, the little teeny one that was left at the very end. I'm going to take that one out. That's going to be mine. Since I had a chance to have some of the chowder already, I purposely did not include any shrimp in it because I knew I was going to try out the sausage. So let's see. Oh man, this sausage is the bomb. Wow. Wow. Great. Now, I put in a little bit of pepperoncino, but it's not hot. And there was enough turkey to be able to just, put whatever seasonings that we put in the background. Now, all of these recipes will be in the description box. And keep this in mind, recipes are just outlines. Think of that as an outline. And it gives you a chance to be creative. It gives you an opportunity to be able to pick up certain spices that you might like. And if you have a certain flavor that you're looking for, this is more of a Mexican restaurant with a Mexican recipe with all of the corn and the black beans and shrimp and the sweet potato. But let me tell you, it is quite tasty, and I think you will love it. Now, so I know the sausage really is very good. No fat, none. So you're getting the protein. Now, the one thing I can't do right here is that, because I don't want it to cook, when you're plating this, you're going to want to have some chopped fresh cilantro. And then that way, as you put it into your bowl, you're going to sprinkle a little fresh cilantro as well as some shredded Mexican cheese. So have a little bit of both of those. And then keep your limes handy because you're going to want to squish. And that's what I'm going to do at this point. I'm going to start to put in a little bit of lime because the lime, turn the fire off, because the lime is going to give it a lift, a fresh lift. So I'm going to add in some lime juice. And when you serve it, you may want to even put a slice of lime on the side so that the person that you're serving it to, it's going to look pretty with the cilantro, the lime, and of course the cheese. Ah, that lime smells so good. So I am just giving all of this a stir. So I'm going to bring you in closer because I want you to see just how beautiful this dish came out. Let's see if I can get you over here close enough so you can really get a bird's eye view of this soup. So you can see the shrimp, you can see your the sweet potato, you can see the black beans and the corn. And for those of you who like those taco nights, this would be a great substitution for your taco night because it is a Mexican dish. And so this gives you great options. And in this particular case, it's really very low calorie. So I think you're going to like it. So I'm going to bring you over so I can take a look. Let me take you down. And so I can talk to everybody and see what's up. Yes, this chowder is delicious. The sausage and the chowder are just absolutely easy to prepare, and most of all, they're healthy. And we want to be able to put together recipes that are healthy for ourselves as well as healthy for our family. So our bean and corn chowder, delicious. Now, let's see. What was that? She missed the beginning. She worked soup. Oh, talking about the soup kitchen. Yes, I'm going to enjoy that. It's going to be fun being able to work in the soup kitchen. And I will be sharing with you some of the things that are going on and some of the things that we're able to do because, it's certainly a blessing to be able to give to those who are unable to do for themselves. And Ronnie said, you never thought of making your own sausage. I'm strolling through the comments. And you know what? How easy can it get? These are things that you have right here in your kitchen. Onion powder, garlic powder, your black pepper, paprika, a little pepperoncino, herbs of Provence. Those are things you probably already have in your pantry. And you put them into your turkey and it's ready to go. So for those, and I know quite a few of you cook breakfast just about every day. So I'm figuring 4 or 7 days we'll probably have sausage. And whether it's with with a bagel, whether it's with a biscuit, whatever it may be, but certainly having it homemade is going to be absolutely delicious. Thank you, Denise. I see you've been making a lot of soup lately. Me too. You all are cold. Well, you know what? Today is cold, but we've had 68 to 75 to 78 degrees this week. So it really got me into the mode for a little spring thing and to be able to get my tea going and to also add in something delicious. Now, I thought of you when I was thinking of it Taco Tuesday, and this would be wonderful. You can certainly throw all of this into a crock pot, everything but the seafood, whatever type of seafood that you decide to do. And for those of you who have husbands who fish, then you probably have fish in your freezer that you can take some pieces out, cut them into cubes, and add them into the soup. And so that is a definite option. Oh, that's good, Michelle. I'm reading Michelle. Michelle saying that, see if I can get her in, that her oldest daughter has a tick-borne illness and that it causes an allergy to mammal products. So having turkey is going to be a good option for her to be able to prepare the sausage. Absolutely, you are absolutely right. She will get all the flavors of the sausage. The only difference is going to be is that this is not, there's no fat. So you can certainly add a little bit of olive oil into the pan when you fry it so that if you want to be able to do that. For me, I wanted no fat. So that's why I put it into my cast iron and was able to cook it very quickly, as you saw, and it's ready to go. Now, guys, good morning. I want you to have an amazing Saturday. We are going to have a good time. It's very seldom that we have an opportunity to have all 5 grandbabies in one place at the same time. That just doesn't happen very often. And so I'm so excited. And I pray that all of this comes together today, that we will be able to have all five of the babies with us for Papa's birthday. And it's going to be a good time, a good time. And I know he's going to love it. And because he loves having all of them together. And so I will certainly share all of your well wishes with him. And I hope this week, that you're going to prepare this black bean corn shrimp chowder. I will say seafood chowder, even though I use shrimp. But it is delicious, it's hearty, and you can certainly have plenty of it to be able to share, some for yourself and some for someone else. If you know someone who likes some of the things that you like, you can add a quart, one of those nice quart containers, and share it with someone else. So I am so thankful to all of you. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful Saturday, and you're welcome. You're welcome. And I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend. So God bless. And I will see you Monday at the lunch table. I can't wait, because we've got a little bit of something that we're going to be talking about. And I think you're going to enjoy it. It's going to have a little different slant. And Monday's going to be fun. So I've been thinking about that. So we're going to be ready. So God bless you all. And I'll see you soon right here in the kitchen of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme. Mwah! Love to all of you.